Hi, welcome everyone to yet another video from Discovering World. Today we are in the land of Jersey. I think you must have seen our previous video where we landed the land of Jersey, and now we took the rental car and started our exploration in this small island. So we thought of starting with the lighthouse, which is known as the Corbiere. We say it is a Corby's. I won't say it's Corbiere. Sorry, Corby's lighthouse. So it is one of the iconic landmark of Jersey, and it's one of the most photographed spot in Jersey in the British Channel Islands. So I think a lot of people must have seen this in the postcard, which looks pretty like a white lighthouse, stands like a proud on a rocky islet of the extreme southwest tip of the island. I think the best way to visit the lighthouse could be walking. If it is a good weather or in a summer, you could have some Jersey ice cream from this stall. I think it's apparently closed now. I think we are quite early today, so we thought literally come and see this lighthouse early hours of the day and go to other attractions by the time the other attractions open up. So we parked the car there and started walking towards the lighthouse, and we apparently saw a sculpture on our right hand side. So my kid is just literally going to see what is that. Actually, this is a sculpture of two hands clasping, and there is a story behind it. So I'll just tell in short about it. So in 1995, when a French catamaran was passing to Jersey to Sark, which is another Channel island, so literally that catamaran was stuck on a rock which is around 900 meters from this Corby's lighthouse. So literally because the sea was quite rough and everything, actually they were able to get some emergency assistance, and some fellow ships also provided some assistance to get rid out from that danger. And there was about nearly to 300 passengers and crew were saved from that partially submerged vessel. So actually this memorial was erected in like a thanksgiving and as a tribute to the rescue, which was with the help of God and of many strong arms, ensured the safe return of all those people on board. So we just walked from that sculpture, and just now moving to another stuff we are going to show you. Do you have any idea what is this? So I'll tell you what is it. So this is we call it as a bunker. Do you have an idea what is a bunker is? Actually, bunkers are like underground reinforced shelter that's mainly used during the World War II. I mean the World Wars. So when you walk towards the lighthouse, we could see two concrete bunkers, which is on the right on the right hand side. So actually these are the part of island-wide fortification which is built by the German occupying forces during the World War II, when the Channel Islands were the only part of the British Isles to be invaded and occupied by Germany. And these bunkers offer a fascinating glimpse into what life was like for the occupying soldiers and local people. So there is a bunker which is known as the Strongpoint Corbiere, which is well worth a visit. So actually when we reached there, it started raining, so we took some shelter inside this bunker, and we literally took some random videos around one of the bunker, and we could literally see each of them very clearly, like the nearby places. Especially if you use a binocular, you could literally see everything so clearly. So we spent some time, and we thought that it's better option to visit some other place rather than visiting this lighthouse at this point of time. So we just waited for some time to the rain just get settled down. Now we are just planning a little bit differently. Actually, I thought like we would visit the Corbiere's lighthouse in the first place, and we'll visit the underground German hospitals, the Jersey war tunnels in the next one. After visiting the Corbiere's lighthouse. But when we parked the car there, you could notice that there is a lot of rain anyway. So it started raining, so I thought like let's go to the war tunnel, then we would come back to this Corbiere's lighthouse at some other point of time. Okay, so now we are just heading towards the German underground hospital or the museum. So there are few ways you could reach there. I think the best way we recommend could be taking a rent a car and Google it. That's the best way. Or the second way could be the bus. So I don't know how many of you notice the main bus is Liberty Bus. So there is an app, you could download it and you could find out how, like, when is the next bus coming in this route. So you should find out the bus route 8. So that's a Liberty Bus which takes you to the Jersey war tunnels, and it works from Monday to Saturday all year around. And especially Monday, there is another bus route 28, that's the same Liberty. It works from Monday to Sunday, and that's the easy way of reaching the underground hospital. So we literally reached there and we got enough parking space, so it is very free. We just parked the car there and we thought of just go inside and take some entrance ticket and have some breakfast, because we just literally landed in Jersey in the morning. We didn't had any breakfast, so we thought of like having breakfast in the first place and go and explore the places after that. So we reached the entrance area of Jersey war tunnels. You could see a military vehicle in front of you, and the military hospital, the one which the red symbol, the cross red symbol, is the place where we have to visit. So this is the place where we need to take the ticket. So I'm just literally waiting for my kids to come. There's a bit of showers. So this is the place where we take the tickets. So actually this Jersey war tunnel is quite a long one, and it is quite accessible for wheelchairs and everything. And you could literally take guide dogs if you are well trained guide dogs. And the opening times of Jersey war tunnels are literally from 10 o'clock till 5 o'clock in the evening, and it roughly cost about £16 for ages 16 plus, and above 65 plus you get to pay 13. I think I would say book online, you could say literally £1. That's the only thing. And yeah, I just paid through my bank. So yeah. And one thing I have noticed that along with the small receipt, they give a identity card. It's like an ID card stuff. So I will tell you about it in the later part of the video. about what is its importance and everything. Okay, so I will show you how does it look like. So actually the man was literally explaining to us about that. So you could see a man's picture there. So it's literally given like an ID card for 4 people. So I will tell you about that in the later part of the video. Close to the entrance tickets there is a souvenir shop. You could literally buy some things, especially some photo cards, and especially there are some magnets and stuff, and there are some what I would say some books regarding the Jersey War tunnels, and some of them are quite interesting things. So we just literally walked through it and spent some time there, and now we are just heading to the first floor of it, where there is a restaurant. So you could see all those gift items, especially there are some t-shirts and there are some cups, everything, just giving a, like you could see bottles which mentioning about Jersey wars and everything. It's like a souvenir shop, I would say, and it's a bit costly even. Yeah, now we are just heading to the first floor to have some light breakfast, and we will start our exploring the Jersey tunnel after it. Okay, let's go and have some breakfast now. So actually this is the cafe, which is literally just above the entrance. So literally they have all the breakfast options with the locally sourced ingredients, and I would say we had some cup of tea and some sandwiches. Especially they had some dishes which are a bit homemade, and they have a good atmosphere even. They've got enough chairs and everything, and they got something outside. It's like a terrace option if you would like to enjoy the meal outside. Especially this cafe is open the same time of the Jersey War tunnels from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So I'm just showing the ID cards which they give to me. So literally those ID cards showing the life of those 5 peoples according to the gender, and their life in those 5 years of Nazis occupation. I'll tell about that later. Now you could see the restaurant. I think we were the only person there. Literally there are a few people, I saw a few tourists there, and we just literally had some light breakfast so that we could start off our exploration of Jersey tunnels as fast as we could. After spending some time having a good breakfast, now it's the time to explore the Jersey War tunnel, or at the moment it's like a military hospital. So let's go and explore. So stay tuned and just wait for the, like what we say, the ultimate experience of Jersey Wharf Tunnel with us. Now, let's go inside the Jersey Wharf Tunnel. Now, at the moment, after 1943, it was converted into an emergency hospital as the tide of war turned against the occupiers. So, I'm just going to tell you a brief history about what all happened here, so you get a good idea while you seeing the Jersey Wharf Tunnel. So, in June 1940, when France fell to the advancing Nazi army and the France was occupied, so the British government decided that the Channel Islands just off the Normandy coast were of no strategic importance and would not be defended. So the islands were effectively demilitarized and the residents were faced with an impossible choice, like should they stay and face the occupation or go leaving behind the family, friends and possessions. So for those who stayed, the period of occupation was long and difficult. The Jersey was surrendered on 1st of July, a day after Guernsey and the smaller islands of Alderney and Sark, which is soon followed. It would be nearly 5 years before the Channel Islands would be liberated on 9th May 1945. During those long years, the islanders suffered under the loss of freedom and the imposition of new laws, including confiscation of possessions, restrictions on fishing, public gathering, and much more. A curfew and ban on using the beaches too. Perhaps worst of all, the loss of freedom of speech. The Jersey Islands were heavily fortified by the Nazis. On Jersey, they made an extensive network of tunnels which they planned to dig over 15 meters underground. So actually the purpose was to allow the German occupying infantry to withstand Allied air raids and bombardment in the event of invasion. So the Nazis used more than 5,000 forced and enslaved workers from nations across Europe to dig this complex underground tunnel. So the people who made it, they lived in harsh conditions, although they were treated seems to some extent to have varied according to nationality. So in regards to Russians suffering the worst treatment than the Spanish or Dutch. I think the Russians were actively engaged in fighting with Nazis, while some other nations had surrendered and been occupied. I think that could be the thing why the Russians been treated a little bit differently. So later in 1943, the tunnels were converted into an emergency hospital as the tide of war turned against the occupiers. Today they are open to the public to visit, and you could see a series of exhibits tells what it was like to live on Jersey during those years of occupation. I don't know how many of you noticed the entrance ticket. It's like a different type of entrance ticket. I have never seen like that before. So it's like looks like an identity card. So it's actually when you visit this tunnel, you are given a gender appropriate ID card with your entrance ticket and told to look out for your person among the photos and information boards. So as you walk through the tunnel, there are different displays, like it displays a lot of things, and each tell one aspect of the history of the island during that period. So the British decision not to defend the Channel Islands and the difficult choice faced by the islanders, with only 24 hours in which to opt either to stay or be evacuated, and the life here under German occupation and eventual liberation on 9th May 1945, a date still marked each year by a public holiday. Actually, what you see on your friend, all these time and dates, all depicts the invasion of Nazis on this Jersey island. So each and every time being marked so that you get an idea about what they have done and how these island people suffered on all this time, and how these troops been here, and like all those stuff being described in like a beautiful way so that everyone can read and understand about that Nazis occupation. And it's like what I say, I have never seen such a thing before, so I feel like so informative and very good, I would say. After that initial exhibit which you already seen, we literally now entered into the longer part of that tunnel. So it's the place where there are a lot of rooms on the right and the left side. So it's literally mentioning about how the islanders responded to the Nazis occupations, and it is like a detailed descriptions of each and everything. So it's so amazing, and I see that it's worth visiting this Jersey War Tunnel if you've been to Jersey Island. So I will just say something about that. So the first one, what the Jersey people thought about Nazi occupation is whether to leave or to stay. So because the UK announced that they no longer defend the Channel Islands, and the residents will be faced with an impossible choice. So the choice would be whether to stay and face the unknown enemy, or go and leave, or just go leave behind the family, friends and possessions. So that was the choice they have to make, because there is an unknown enemy coming to it. So now you could see that a lot of the people who lived at that time, their responses and everything, they are put up in a video so that you could get an idea about how they've been lived those 5 years. So the second thing is the first contact. So when I say about the first contact is, as the German troops arrived in this island, they came in like thousands of people. Jersey was firmly under the jackboot. So they were literally discovering those uncertain days, as like the occupied learned to live with their occupiers. So that was like some sort of uncertain days. After that, they put up some like the papers, like what we call like a paper war. So with little physical resistance to deal with, it wasn't long before the German command began interfering in daily life. Its main weapon was like a formidable bureaucracy, generating new laws and orders on a daily basis. So every day they put up some paper saying something about special regulations and what are the restrictions for the islanders. That all been put up in a paper and displayed, and all the people has to follow up that stuff. And day by day the life gets worsen up. So the daily life of the islanders became more difficult. As these restrictions increased, the shortages also increased, and these recreations of Jersey home during the occupation, there are some homes, pictures have been put up there. So they gives an insight into the make do and mend mentality that kept residents going throughout these dark years. So they literally spent more time in reading books, and they tried to be within the houses most of the time. I feel like that. And you could see there are you see a man sitting in the sofa. His face is being displayed in the monitor. So he just explaining about the situation he faced at that time of Nazis occupation.